Ronaldo, and I'm one of the speech therapists based here at Wood Street. On the screen, you can see a little bit of information about our service. Your child is currently on the waiting list for intervention here at Wood Street. Following the information you gave us and the observations gained at their initial assessment, your therapist felt that your child had some difficulties with their social communication. And we hope that the information you see in the PowerPoint enclosed will give you support and information that you can use to help your child with their social communication development. There are many different skills involved in developing language and communication. Developing attention is vital. Your child will need to be able to tune in and listen to the language around them, and also to be able to share their attention with another person. Play is also really important. Through play, your child will learn how things work and relate to each other. And also through play, they're able to develop that interaction with another person. Understanding is another key skill. Your child will need to fully understand the language around them before they can use that to communicate with somebody else. Talking refers to the words and gestures and body language that your child uses to communicate with you and others. Speech production or pronunciation refers to the sounds your child makes and how they pronounce the words. So, for instance, k-at, cat. Social interaction skills help us get our message across to others and for us to understand what other people are saying to us, even if our language is limited or unclear. It's not uncommon for children to have difficulties in a number of these areas, as they're all really linked. Take a minute now to think about the areas of that pyramid where you feel your child may have some difficulties. Social communication difficulties can affect a child in a number of different ways. Some are very obvious to see, others may be very subtle. Usually children don't have to even think about how to develop their social and communication skills. Some of the difficulties we see in social communication are obvious and others are more subtle. The main ways that a child may have difficulties with their social and communication skills are outlined on the screen. Children with social communication difficulties can find it hard to give, maintain, and switch their attention. You may be very aware that they don't always look up or respond when you call their name. Another example may be that you're pointing out something to them, an aeroplane when you're walking down the street, but they don't look up or show any interest in what you're pointing to and instead remain focused on what they're doing. You may have noticed that your child doesn't always bring things to you, to show you, to get you interested in the same way that perhaps your other children did or that their peers would do. Before working on any element in developing your child's language and communication, it is vital that we help you to develop their attention and listening skills. So how do you get your child's attention? First and foremost, it's really important to observe them. Take some time to see how your child interacts with you or other adults or other children. What's easy and what's difficult for them? Be prepared to get on the same level. And for some, this may mean getting on the floor. If you're physically able to do that, I would absolutely guarantee it. And you might just enjoy it. When you're on the same level as your child, whether that's at a tabletop activity or on the floor, they're getting all that extra information from looking at your face. They're seeing that range of emotions passing over you. They're really, hopefully, at a good level to get all the cues from your body language. They're able to see your mouth moving, words coming out. So you're really, really helping them to get the beginnings of how language, works. On this point, I would also say, though, I'm sure you know that some children are just fascinated by certain toys. And if you bring that toy because you know they're going to love it, you may find that your child becomes overstimulated by it and actually ends up ignoring you because they want to focus all their attention on that toy. So there's a balance to be found. You want to get their attention. You want to kind of move them maybe away from what they're doing so they know you're there, but at the same time you don't want to kind of give them something that's going to stop them showing any interest in you. So again, this is where observation comes in. Really think about what's going to get their attention, but that's going to allow you to join in as well. When thinking about setting up a play routine with your child, or a special time if you like, it's not about making it brand spanking new and exciting. Think about what they like. Go back to that observation. Yeah, use the things that you know you're going to be able to get involved in and it's going to keep their attention. And similarly, don't set yourself up to fail. Don't think, Imelda said I've got to play with them, I'm going to spend this hour that I have free to play. Plan for 5 minutes, and if you get to 7 or 10, you've done really well. We always have to be cautious. One of the first things I want you to do is to follow your child's lead. When you copy their play, you are making your actions and communication more understandable to them. So you're going to reduce your child's anxiety about, not understanding maybe what it is mom or dad wants or the words they're using. They can really enjoy playing and you playing alongside them in the same way. So really, they only have to concentrate on that communicative behavior, if you like, that new word you're introducing, or that perhaps a word they already know, but you're repeating it, you're using it in context, so it's more likely to be understood, and they can enjoy that whole interaction without feeling, mom, dad want me to do something that I'm not particularly keen on. Playing in this way, getting on the floor with your child, copying your child when perhaps you think, they shouldn't really be doing it in that way, can sometimes make you feel a bit self-conscious, a bit awkward. But, if you just give it a go and try it and don't give up after one time, even 2-3 times, keep it going for at least maybe a few weeks. I promise you will notice a difference, and your child will definitely notice a difference. And you know what? You are going to be your child's best toy. Nothing you can buy is going to be as stimulating, as fun as you are. So don't always feel that you have to rely on the item or the object. You can be just as much fun as anything else. But it's important actually, especially when we're thinking about our children who have perhaps limited attention, that you need to think about how many things are out at one time. Yeah, I would suggest 1-2 things out at a time, no more. Because if you have more, your child's going to just flip from one thing to the other and move on. For those children with limited language, the main focus is, again, not on giving them words straight away. It's about developing their communication skills. So they're learning how language works, how communication works, how to get their message across, how to understand what someone's saying to them, developing their use of gesture, developing their ability to point. So they're using their communication skills in its entirety to reduce frustration and to help you understand what they want. By using choices, giving your child a choice, it really gives them some empowerment over what they want, and I think we are all a bit guilty at times of thinking we know what our child wants best, going for the healthy option perhaps. By introducing a choice, your child can let you know by reaching, by pointing, by maybe even saying the word, which one of those 2 things they want. By holding those objects, your child has something they can focus on, something concrete that they can see. So the words, the sounds that you use, do you want the orange or the apple, are going to have something that they can pin them on. They're going to make more sense. And similarly, when they reach for the one that they want, you can then kind of, again, reiterate it. Orange. You want orange. So they're hearing that word, they're really attaching it to this item that they're looking at. And that's really how we all learn language. There are a myriad number of reasons why people communicate. We communicate to let someone know what we want, get our message across. We communicate when we're frustrated, when things aren't going our way, when we want things done in a certain way. We can communicate to be praised. If we know that what we're going to say, someone's going to find funny, or if something we say is clever and someone's going to praise us for that, or, tell us how well we're doing, you can bet, a lot of us enjoy that. Perhaps if we feel some injustice or someone is doing something that we don't like, we're going to let people know. We're going to communicate that we're not happy about that. And just, to enjoy. Communication can be fun, to listen to someone, to get things off your chest, if you like. Sometimes, there's nothing better than just meeting up with a friend, a partner, and communicating to them how your day has been. Your children are going to be no different. The reason for that scream, for that shout, for that kick, maybe because someone's taken their favorite toy, or their favorite program is finished and they didn't have any warning, or they're hungry and they can't tell you that they want that cookie. If your child does have language and is using language, perhaps it's limited, they're putting short phrases together but not really stringing long sentences, then use that as a model. When you're talking to your child, when you're, going around just daily activities, getting them dressed, getting them breakfast, putting in the bath, then just keep your language simple. If your child is only using 1, 2, 3 words, then why on earth makes you think they're going to cope with 10? Come on, Imelda, it's time to get undressed and have your bath. It's okay to say, bath time. They'll understand it because you may be in the bathroom, you may be holding the towel. You're giving them all those cues that's going to help them underpin their communication. Keeping things simple, keeping things repeated, and the context as much as possible the same is going to really help them to understand what it is you're saying, and in time, hopefully, help them to say those words themselves. Remember, it's okay to kind of repeat what they say, kind of let them know they've been listened to and what they're saying is important, and you're willing to kind of take it on board and repeat it back to them. Yeah, it is the car or the apple, or yeah. And you can maybe extend it. If they say apple, you can say, yeah, the red apple, But really, there's nothing, as I'm sure you know, there's nothing more powerful and important than to feel listened to. And your child, even if they haven't got that much language, is going to be the same. They're going to enjoy it when you take the time to let them know that what they're saying is worthwhile. Perhaps most importantly, from my point of view, is accept all attempts at communication. Don't just wait for that word. When they're pointing, when they're smiling, if they're pulling you to something, if their body language is showing you they don't want something, then, recognize it and name it. As you can see on the slide, we talk about the 4 S's. This is a really kind of, I think, a good way, an easy way to remember. Perhaps some nice rules, I suppose, for want of a better word, to use when you're with your child that perhaps hasn't got much language. It's basically saying, say less, stress the main word that you're kind of going to get across. Go slow, don't rush, don't use too many words. And show, like we talked about, using visuals, using items so that your child has a concrete idea of what you're talking about. Something else that's really important to use with your child, and that you may already use, I'm sure, is songs and rhymes, because actually they have a rhythmic pattern to them, which we all love, and your child will be very familiar with them already, and they are repetitive, so your child will know what's coming. They'll know that, at the end of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little, the word star comes. They'll know what's happening. So even if they don't use the word or they're not saying the word, by giving them that opportunity, by leaving that little gap, they might put in a sound, they might put in a giggle, they might say the word, but it's kind of, you've already, if you like, set the groundwork already in place. Have a look through the whole PowerPoint. I really do hope you find it helpful. Our contact details are included, so please don't hesitate to contact us. And we will be in contact with you again. This PowerPoint is aimed just at helping you to perhaps start to put in place some interventions while you're waiting for us to contact you, and things that you can do easily at home to really help develop your child's social communication.